So in this video, we're going to create a very simple rock, paper, and scissors game. And let me show you an example of what the program will do. So we run in and ask, what do you want to choose? Type 0 for rock, 1 for paper, or 2 for scissors. I'll just type 0 for rock. And it tells me what I chose. It has an ASCII art with a rock's drawing. It shows what the computer chose, which was also a rock, and it says it's a draw. And we'll run it one more time. I'll choose paper, and it says that I chose paper. It says computer chose scissors, and I lose. And that's basically what the game is based on. All right, so how do we create this program? Well, I already added in the ASCII art. You can get this online. It's a drawing someone created. You have rock, paper, and scissors. And then the directions will be to have a system ask you to enter 0 for rock, 1 for paper, and 2 for scissors. It will show what the computer chose. If it's a tie, it will say that. If you enter an invalid number, the system will say it's invalid, and it will say that you lose the game. If you win, it will say that, and if you lose, it will also say that. So since we know we have to have the computer generate a random symbol, we're going to have to import random. Then we will start writing the code below the comments here. So we know we have 3 different images, rock, paper, and scissors. So we want to create a variable that identifies those 3. So we'll call it game images, and we'll make it a list. And then we're going to want the program to ask the user what they want to play. So we'll create a variable, we'll call it user choice. And since we're asking the answer to be a 0, 1, or 2, we're going to have to convert it to an integer. So we'll start off with int, and then we'll have input, and then we'll have it ask the question. And we'll add a line break just to make it more readable. So we'll enter an if statement. It will be if user choice is greater than 2 or user choice is less than 0. Got to get rid of that is there. Then we'll have it print you typed an invalid number, you lose. And then we have to make the program exit. So we'll just type in exit here. And then the else statement, and this would be if the user didn't enter a number that's greater than 2 or less than 0. We'll print you chose, and then print what the user actually chose. So we know game images is where the symbols are saved, and we're going to enter the index of what the user chooses. And this will be user choice. So we'll get out of the else statement, and now we're going to get into the computer choice. So we'll create another variable, call it computer choice. And this is where random comes into play. We're going to want to choose a random number from 0 to 2 because those are the options that the computer can play. So we're going to use randint, and randint is inclusive, so we'll go all the way to 2. And then we'll print computer chose. And then we'll do the same thing again that we did with the user choice, but we'll do it for the computer choice. We'll do game images, and then the index number that the random function chose. So this is where we're going to start adding the if statements. So if user choice equals 0 and computer choice equals 2, we know that rock will beat scissors, so we'll print you win. You got to add the quotation marks. And then we'll do an else if statement, and we'll say if the computer chose 0 and the user chose 2, then the user loses. Now we'll do another else if statement for the other options. So we'll say else if computer choice is greater than user choice. Since we already have the 0 option written out, now we know if the computer chose a number that's greater than the user's number, so let's say computer chose 2 and user chose 1, then we know that scissors would be paper. So in this scenario, the user would lose. But if it's the opposite, where the computer choice was less than the user choice, then we know that the user would win. So we'll just do the opposite of that. And then the last option would be if both the computer and the user chose the exact same symbols or exact same numbers. So we'll do one more else if statement. And we'll say if computer or else if computer choice equals user choice, then we know it's a draw. Neither player would win. So we'll print it's a draw. All right, so all the code has been written. We'll run it and see what it does. So what do you choose? Type 0 for rock, 1 for paper, or 2 for scissors. We'll go for rock, so we'll type 0. And I chose rock. Computer chose paper, so I lost. We'll run it again. I'll choose rock again. So this time the computer chose scissors and I chose rock, so I won. And then we'll test out what happens if you enter in a number that's outside of the choices. So in this scenario, I'll type in 3, and it's. So I just noticed I have some typos. So let me go back and change that. And we'll rerun the code. And I'll type in 3 again. And it says you typed in a invalid number, you lose. So this is a very simple rock, paper, and scissors game. There's many ways to do it. Please feel free to add a comment if you have a different way of completing this code. Thanks.